Hello everybody, and welcome to Gregg's Vintage Workshop, where I'm working to restore history one piece at a time. Tonight's going to be just a quick update on the Philco 41105. What I've been doing to it this past week. I've basically got it apart. I'll show you where I'm at with that. But the other part of this video is a quickie project that I picked up last week from a local guy here just a few minutes from my house. It's actually a Commercial Trades Institute VT-20 VTVM, and it was in pretty rough shape, but I only paid $5 for it. I still have it. And I said, well, how much do you want for it? And he said, well, make me an offer. So I offered him $5, and he said, yeah, that's fine. So I went and got it, brought it home. It's in pretty rough shape, but I think I can get it going. And so this video is kind of basically showing it and what I'm doing to it. So sit back and enjoy. We'll get started. Hey everybody, I thought I'd give you a quick update of where I currently am on the Philco 41105. As you can see, I have been taking it apart, and I didn't video me taking it all apart because I'm sure that gets monotonous. And since I'm trying to get my videos a little shorter, I figure I'd show you kind of results versus actual disassembly, and maybe you'll see some of the reassembly. As you can see, I've got the speaker off, and I got the speaker covered. I haven't done anything with it, and definitely needs to be cleaned off. I did test it, hooked the battery across it, and it moved. So I know that coil's fine. This needs to be cleaned. I got the tuning assembly off of it, push button tuning assembly. I haven't cleaned that yet. There's the bottom. Obviously the bottom much cleaner than the top, but I'll clean this off thoroughly. I was originally going to change each of these wires because they are the hard rubber. And this one's got a little damage on it, but the more I think about it, I'm probably not going to mess with it. They don't move. Nothing's going to touch them. So once I get it cleaned up, I'll decide what I'm going to do. But that's that. And then I got the dial cord and the face off of it. I haven't cleaned this up yet. The part that was like folded up was really thick. It's like a cardboard. So I dampened it last night, and I've got it under a pile of weight. I'm trying to flatten it out straight. If I can flatten it out straight and clean it up, I'm going to reuse it. So that's that. And I did test the tubes, and all of the tubes tested good except the 1H5G second detector first audio tube. It has two sections. The first section tested good, second section tested bad. So I've got a tube order from Bob DeBosch coming on. I needed some additional tubes for a couple other radios, so I just put it on that order. So I'm waiting for those tube order to come in. Last night I placed an order with DigiKey for most of the mica capacitors. I decided when I looked at this radio, it's so tight inside, it's going to be the biggest pain in the royal butt to work on, especially over here. I'm going to wind up having to take this assembly out with the components, and once I get them out, get it out of the housing, then I'll go ahead and clean everything and test everything and change everything. I want to do it one time and do it one time right. So I haven't started that piece yet. I want to make sure I get my wire dress correct. I did test my on-off switch, and actually, without being clean, is working perfectly. The volume control seems to be working okay. I haven't cleaned it yet. When I tested it with everything connected to it, it's supposed to be a 2 meg volume control with a tap at 1 meg. And when I checked it, it was checking like at 1.6 meg versus 2 meg. And the tap was testing at like 900,000. So I think that it's not exactly perfect because of still being in circuit. But I'm going to take that out, clean that all up. These two controls will come out, get cleaned up. This I'll pull out, lubricate it, put it back, and then this assembly here is going to be the biggest nightmare. I did test this second IF transformer, and it tested okay. I did test the first IF, and it did not test good. So I may have to rewind that. I'm not going to be too concerned about it till I get it out and get it apart and then test it that way. The antenna coils transformer tested okay, and the shortwave antenna in there tested okay. This little coil here, I can't recall what it was, but it did not test okay. So obviously that's going to come out with the rest of this mess, and when I get it where I can get to it better, maybe it'll test okay. But again, I haven't done anything to anything yet, short of testing. The output transformer appeared to test okay, and once I got the dowel string off of the tuning capacitor, it actually turns fairly free, but I'm going to get it off there, put it in the ultrasonic cleaner. But that's where that's at. So that's the update. Once I get this stuff off, what I'm going to take off, I'll take off, then I'm going to clean the chassis and start the rewire recap. But I'm kind of waiting for the parts to show up before I do that. Anyhow, that's that. Let me show you what I picked up last week. So actually about 2 weeks ago, there was an ad in my local Facebook Kiwani group, and there was a guy that had some of his dad's tools for sale, cheap, and one of the things he had shown was a Craftsman 200 watt heavy duty soldering gun. He wanted $5 for it, so I messaged him and asked him if he still had it. He said yes, he did. This is a metal case, and you can see supposedly over 200 watts. I did take and put the heaviest tip in it because that's what I wanted this for, is for soldering the chassis. And so I had this big heavy duty tip in it. I put that in there and pulled the trigger, and within 3 or 4 seconds the solder was melted on it. So apparently it works good. I haven't cleaned it up, done anything with it, but I'm happy for $5. I was very pleased with this purchase. I actually was planning on buying one of these on Amazon. I wanted to get the wattage as high as I could get it, and it was going to be like $70. And when I saw this for $5, I was like, alright, I'm picking that up. And I'm glad I did, because it seems to work perfectly. And it's a metal case, and pretty good. So anyway, while I was there buying this from him, and it was only 2 minutes from my house, so that was a bonus too. So while I was there buying that from him, he mentioned that he had a volt-ohm meter, if I'd be interested in it. And I was like, sure, I'd be interested in it. Send me some pictures of it and a price. So he did. And I was like, yep, I'll take it. So this be it. It came with the leads and everything. Obviously it needs work. The leads need work. It needs cleaned up, but it doesn't appear to use batteries. It appears to be AC. It is a Commercial Texas Institute model VT20, it looks like. Yeah, Commercial Trades Institute, not Texas. Commercial Trades Institute model VT20. And the meter is not locked up, so that's good. I haven't plugged it in. I haven't cleaned it up, as you can tell. And it's kind of rusty, but I think it's actually going to clean up fairly decent. Got the calibration adjustments on the back. And like I said, I think this is going to clean up pretty nice. So for $5, I paid $5 for this. I think I did okay. I'm pretty excited about that. So I'm probably, while I'm waiting for the parts for the 41105, I'll probably clean this up, take it apart and change the electrolytic in it, and go from there. So I'm going to clean this up. Maybe I'll bring you guys back once I get it cleaned up and show you what it looks like. Okay, so I took it out of the case, and this actually is a tube VOM, and it uses a 6.5N7 tube and a 6H6 tube, so hopefully those test good, because I'm sure I don't have any extras, and I just placed that stupid order with Bob DeBush, so if I need one, I'm screwed. Got a couple caps in here that I'll change out, and it's got a 1.5 volt C-cell battery here, obviously for the ohm meter, and I don't want something that has to keep a battery in it, but I think I'm going to do a battery eliminator circuit in here for this, so I don't have to worry about it. But I think it's going to clean up pretty good, and I'll change the 2 caps, and we'll go from there. Finish cleaning it up. So I realized I forgot to show you guys the actual bottom of this. So this is it. It's actually really clean. I'm going to replace this O1 cap here and this electrolytic right here. Spray some fader lube in those controls back here, and those are the controls that are the calibration adjustments, and I'll spray some in here too. Check these resistors, see how they check. I'm sure they're going to be fine. I've already tested the 2 tubes. Both tubes tested really good, well over 100%, like 110. So tubes are in good shape. I could technically power it up. I'm not going to until I change the electrolytic. I did clean the original cord up. It actually cleaned up really good. It was really bad. But it's super soft and supple. I can't see replacing it. It cleaned up really nice. So we're going to keep that on there, and I'll do that, come back. Okay, I just got through spraying out all the potentiometers with the deoxit fader lube and worked those back and forth. I did the pots in the front. I also did the calibration pots in the back. Obviously I'm going to have to reset all that. Getting ready to spray the deoxit D5 on the switch mechanism here and work it. Do them all here, both sides, and then I'll work the daylights out of it. Alright, I gotta get the bottom one. I'll come back. I gotta change the knob around and do that. Okay, so I replaced this cap, and on the bottom side I replaced this cap and the electrolytic. Now, electrolytic was this guy, which said it was a 12 microfarad 150 volts, and it tested 25 microfarad. So I went ahead, I didn't have a 12, so I put a 10 in there. So hopefully it'll be okay, because I'm sure we had some tolerances that were at least 20% probably when this thing was built. So I think that I don't usually go smaller, but I didn't want to go up to a 15, because all I had in the 15 was a 450 volt. I didn't want to waste it on this, so I think that'll be fine. Now really the only thing I got left to do, besides power it up, is I want to create a battery eliminator to eliminate the little C-cell that was on there. And believe it or not, that C-cell, as old as it looked, and even had rust on it, still had 1.5 volts in it. But I'd rather get rid of it. So spoke with Bob, you all know Bob, and he has a eliminator circuit that I can build on perf board, so I'm going to do that, and when I get that done, we'll bring this back and show you. Now, I've been working on cleaning the case and stuff, but I'm going to go ahead and end this video here, since it was just supposed to be a short update and then showing you this. But the next video we'll finish, this will be finished, and we'll test it out. I'll show you the little battery limiter I stick in there. So from Gregg at Gregg's Vintage Workshop, thanks for watching.